So, Graeme Murty's been named Rangers manager. He's got a tough job. Celtic are that far ahead. Aberdeen are pretty much entrenched in second place. They've had their little wobble. They're back on form. The issue Murty's got is an expectant fan base. Both Edinburgh, Hearts and Hibs clubs are, back in the Premier League as well. They both slipped out. They've got a bit of passion about them now. They're up for it. St Johnstone and Motherwell. He's got to, instead of just going, right, okay, let's just solidify third, we've got to defend third. He's got a little bit of a tricky job here. He's got a transfer window to try and, pinch a couple of players on the cheap. He could get a few diamonds in the rough from the English Championship. I really mean that. He could get a few diamonds in the rough from the English Championship who are on, he could pick up a few loan signings from Premier League clubs in the English Premier League. He could try and find a disenchanted Premier League player and go, I'll have him. There is possibilities. He hasn't got a lot of money to work with, but there's possibilities. As a player, he was a very good two-way player. He could go forward. He obviously could defend because he was a wing back. Good footballing brain. I've seen him play at Reading. In the years before they got to the Premier League, I've seen him play. He was a good energy player. He could put 110% in every week. He would play injured if he could. He's a good communicator. He will communicate his ideas to the players. He'll expect the players what was expected of him because he's only recently retired. So he's played in the recent past. And what managers will expect of him, he will expect of his players. Effort, commitment, and just give it a go. Work for each other. That's what he'll expect. I don't think he's the shouty, sweary type who will just throw a paddy in the changing room. I think he's the more calm, measured, right. I will communicate with these guys. I'm more on their level. I'm not so distant from the playing game to the managing game. He's not. He's not that far removed. The worry is it took so long to sign him as manager and get him his signature for a permanent. Well, I would say permanent. It's basically an interim deal to the end of the season. The fact it took a couple of months to get him in that position is worrying. The fact that McInnes from Aberdeen turned them down. I said, no, I like it where I am. He has got a harder job than Brendan Rodgers, I'll tell him. That's a fact. Brendan Rodgers has got the easiest job in club football. His team have been that dominant, and the league has been that uncompetitive outside of Celtic. They're competitive, but the gap is a fight for second and third. It literally is. Okay, well, second's actually Aberdeen. It's a fight for third more like. It's literally a scramble to finish where you finish. So Graeme Murty is going to have a very, very, very... He's got to make his team as competitive as possible. He's got to get his tactics across to the players. I think, he might make a few good, shrewd signings in that transfer window. So he's got he's got a week or so to work with the team he's got, see him in training, get the Christmas fixes out of the way, and then he can start signing and offloading players. I think he should get more than the 6 months, I really do. But let's see how he does in these 6 months. Let's see how the team perform under him. Let's see what happens. If Rangers really struggle, then he's not the man for the job. There is a certain style of football Rangers fans expect. It's high energy. I think he'll give them that. But they've got to be a bit more tight in defence. They've got to shore up that defence a little bit. So maybe they might sign a centre back from a Championship or Premier League club on loan, or sign him, get a centre back who's a periphery player. Just anyone with a bit of higher level experience, just slot him in there. But that's my view on it. The worry was it took so long, so they've lost that little bit of ground. They could have had him in there sooner and regained some momentum. They've sort of lurched a bit. Even Celtic can lose and lose badly in this league. They lost 4-0. So I'm going to say to Man City, beware. Dominant sides like Celtic will have those moments where they do lay an egg. They throw a mare. They had one against Hearts. It was embarrassing against Hearts, actually. Hearts had their number from minute 1 to minute 90. So could that be a sign that Celtic are running out of steam eventually? Because Brendan Rodgers outside of Europe, they haven't had to deal with defeats, for 69 games. Is that the moment that Celtic's dominance starts wavering and Aberdeen can get in there? Because it'd be interesting to see a non-Glasgow side win the Premier League for the first time in 30 years. It really would. It'd be amazing. Because the dominance that Celtic and Rangers have had has actually been more damaging for the Scottish League than helpful. Far more damaging. But for Murty to get this Rangers side back into the conversation of, hey, next season they could be good. I think his goal is to build for next season. I think that would be a far better remit, is get through this season and build for next season. I think that would be a far better way of Rangers going about it. I think the short-term deal, they want to get someone else in as manager, which is probably not the best idea. But that's just me. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully Murty has some success at Rangers. I wish him well. Please post your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.